Something new, something different, something that we're not used to is always interesting to us. It's always sexier, more appealing. It's got this like gravity, some pull towards it. There's so many different examples of this that I've kind of felt and thought about in my life, many different kind of areas of my life. But it's very, very important to stay the course, and it's very important to kind of stay in your lane. I want to squat 300 kilos. That's my number one goal. But along me being in this fitness community, being in this fitness world, in this thought process, in this existence of what we call fitness, there are many different parts of this community. You've got soccer players, you've got basketball players, you've got dunkers, you've got marathon runners, you've got bodybuilders, strongmen, Olympic weightlifters, you name it. There's thousands of different subclasses of fitness, if you want to call it, or sports. But you have to stay in your lane. The reason why I say that is because it is we're very easily distracted, and then we take away from our original goal. I know for a fact that I would be the happiest if I was able to squat 300 kilos, raw ATG. That would make me the happiest. Recently, I've been thinking about implementing some plyometrics, some explosive kind of training to kind of aid in me being able to dunk the ball. Now, what would I rather? 300 kilo squat, or me to do a 360 windmill through the legs dunk? What would be more appealing to me? For me, I know for a fact that I would much rather 300 kilo squat. That precipitates all of my thoughts. And so when I think about training time, how much time I have to give into this goal of mine, I don't want to retract, I don't want to subtract, I don't want to take away my efforts from the main goal. In a way, I want to be a specialist. I want to achieve this goal. And I don't think it's a fair deal for me to then go and give 10% of my time, take away from the squat journey, and put it away into the plyometrics dunking story. So it's very, very important for us to keep our eyes on the prize and eyes on the goal. It is very sexy. It is very appealing to do something else, to try something else. I don't know how many times, I've got so many examples. I don't know how many times I have, I'll tell you one story. I bought my first car, my first proper car with my own money, my own decision. It wasn't like a thing that I got from my parents. This is the first time I actually spent money on a car. I bought it. And I loved it. For about 3-4 months, I was in love with it. I couldn't get enough of the acceleration of everything, right? Like, it was just a sports car. It was amazing. And then after 3-4 months, after that whole high kind of settled down, after the dust settled, I'll be driving down the road and I will see another car and I'm like, wow, that's a cool car. Same price, for me it's affordable. It's the same thing. It's just a different car, different take on sports car kind of world. And my mind would start to wonder, I wonder if I got that. I reckon I'll be happier in that. And another car drives by, it's a Subaru, it's an Evo, it's a Nissan, it's a Toyota Supra. And I'm like, damn, look at that car, look at this car. And after a little while, I was starting to less and less appreciate the car that I was actually in, the car that was making me so happy for the first 3-4 months. That goes for everything. When you are young and when you are dumb, right? I mean this affectionately. I don't mean this as a put down. I don't mean this as a derogatory term, because I've been there and I know what it is to be just completely new lens to the world. I know exactly how it feels. You've got a girlfriend, but there's another girl over there. You're like, wow, she's hot. But your girlfriend's also hot. It's just the fact that over there is something new, something different. Your mind starts to wonder. Me at 33 now, I'm in my own lane, man. I know how the world works. I know how the brain works. I know how our flesh works. If you start jumping lanes, this will never lead to happiness. This is why money doesn't necessarily, after a certain point, make us any more happy. It just doesn't. You have a Ferrari, then you have a Lamborghini, then you have a Bugatti, then you have a BMW M5, then you have a C63 AMG. You have all these different cars, and every time you see something new, shinier, you want to go there. You never stay in your own lane. You never really appreciate something to its full extent. The same thing is with our goals, okay? It's so cool seeing a guy dunk over another dude. 360 windmill. Unbelievable. Double pump jam. That's incredible. But then you see a guy deadlift 300, you're like, wow, that's really impressive. Then you see a guy snatch 160, you're like, wow, that's impressive. Then you see a marathon runner, Kipchoge, freaking run a marathon of two hours. You're like, Jesus Christ, wouldn't that be cool? There's so many different things that are cool. There's so many different, and part of the big problem here is that we get bored of our own lane. We get bored of looking at the same old thing. We get bored of the old. We want new. But that's not happiness, man. You're not going to achieve anything. You go to that new thing, and in 3-4 months' time, it's going to be old again. Then you go to the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And after a little while, you realize you haven't formed a bond. You haven't grown up with anything. You're not anything. You're just an atom that's bouncing around in this world, in this universe. Stick to your own lane. You know who you are, okay? And sometimes you don't. When you're an 18-year-old kid, you don't know really what's going on. When you're 25, sometimes you don't know what the hell is going on. I remember I was 25 and I'm like, what am I doing in my life, man? Should I do medicine? Should I stay in nursing? Should I specialize in nursing? Should I go do something completely different? I love cars. Why not a mechanic? I want to open up my own shop and just freaking paint cars and do up cars and that. So many different thoughts, so many different ideas. Life is going by. Life keeps on ticking. And so in this thought of mine about thinking about dunking the ball for the first time, I'm 33, okay? That's not old, whatever, it's not old. In the NBA kind of world, in professional soccer, it's kind of old because these people have been playing since 20 years old and they have mileage on those joints. They have injury histories. It's like extensive. They've pushed their body to the max at the highest elite level of sport. So for them, a 33-year-old guy, veteran of the NBA, is a different type of guy than me. I haven't snapped my knees. I haven't snapped my ACL. I haven't pulled 50 million. I've had my injuries. I've broken both ankles. But I haven't had an 82-game season year on, year out. I haven't been playing against Kobe, against Allen Iverson, against T-Mac. I haven't been like doing that. My life is just on a completely different level. So I think me at 33 is different than T-Mac at 33. T-Mac freaking had scoliosis and he's all can't even freaking drive a car. He's all just broken up. So I'm not old at 33, but still I'm not 23. And so my joints that I've been kind of training for the last 7 years have been trained in one specific idea, and that is strength. Now I'm introducing this power explosiveness. They're very related, and this is why I'm kind of entertaining this idea. Jumping and squatting are very, very related, and I think I can benefit from both. But make no mistake about me here. This is purely a squat-oriented Ivan. That 300 is all I want. I'm going to start to flirt with some of these ideas. You guys saw me doing power cleans. I'm kind of experimenting with that. I have no skill in power lift, in doing power cleans. It's just basically power clean to a standing position. I'm not even dipping front squat. I'm not doing anything. And as I was kind of doing that, that's kind of where these thoughts started happening. It's like, do I then go away and do I start spending time learning the snatch, learning this well, right? Because if you start off with a power clean, all of a sudden you're doing a full clean. And then you start doing a full clean, then it's like a snatch, hang snatch. And it kind of starts to take you into a different direction. And I don't have that time. I don't have time to put 10 hours a week into training these new skills. My skill is the squat, okay? That's my predominant idea here. I don't have ample time. I'm not a full-time athlete that can just sit around all day and no worries. I'll just snatch 60 kilos for the next 5 hours and just practice like it's no CNS exertion. There's no, metabolic disruption. This is just me spending time. Like we're watching TV, I'm just practicing these snatching. 60 kilos could be way too much for me as it is. Probably talking 20 kilos. But these are some of ideas, like these shiny new things along our path to a goal, right? I'm going down the footpath of a 300 kilo squat. I can see the 300 kilo squat somewhere far in the distance. But along this path, on either side of this footpath, there's beautiful flowers. I want to stop and smell. Oh, there's another little kind of runoff footpath, a little one to the side, and that's kind of the dunking one. And there's another one over here about Olympic weightlifting. There's another one over here that talks about doing sprints and all this stuff. I notice all of these kind of feed back into the main footpath. Sprinting, jumping, snatching, clean and jerking. All of that kind of comes back to the same thing. But you don't want to spend time into something that you don't have. Like I don't have ample amount of time. And so ultimately, when we start talking about training, our training decisions, you need to understand that there is a finite amount of time, currency, time that you have to put into this. Okay, so I don't have another X amount of time per week that I can just blow on this. My life is busy, man. My life is busy, and it just kind of got me thinking, should I be doing these clean and jerks, the power cleans? That also with the fact that, this is probably going to sound a little bit weird, but I don't like making noise. I can't do it at home. And my number one idea here is that I want this to be a self-sustaining thing. If there's no gym, I can't go to the gym for whatever reason, what happens to my power cleaning goals? What happens to my explosive training? I can't do any more power cleans? How do you do a power clean at 140 kilos and not drop it on the ground? Yeah, you can catch it, but that's a whole lot of trouble for the shoulder and you're out of position, and I don't think it's a good idea. I mean, maybe I'm not skilled enough to do that, but today I dropped 100 kilos off the front rack, and it made a freaking racket. And everyone's looking around like, what the hell just happened, man? This is a commercial gym where people that are like not interested in extreme freaking Olympic weightlifting come, and I'm there dropping it. And I know I can kind of get away with it, I can do it, it just doesn't feel right. This is not the right place to do it. I should be doing it in an Olympic weightlifting gym, some sort of weightlifting gym, right? Not here. That bit pisses me off. The fact that I can't do it at home pisses me off. And all these things kind of just started happening. I'm like, okay, I need to work out a different kind of explosive exercise, and then chains out of the mix because that's a freaking racket itself. Okay, bands. I can set up bands at home. I've got the power rack. I can do all of that. These are the thoughts that are happening in my mind. Okay, number one, I don't have enough time. Number two, everything that's different is shiny and sexy. Everything that's new is it's all of that. Can't do it in the freaking commercial gym. I can't do it at home. This is what has historically stopped me from going into that direction. And some of you guys might be like, oh, it's a bit of noise, man. You can get those crash mats. I can get those crash mats, but right now when I'm in the garage, no one can hear me. Okay, I'm like a ninja in there. Sometimes, like when I'm deadlifting, like at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I make a bit of noise and whatever with the deadlifts. Even the kneeling kind of deadlifts that I do, my ritual, I'll do it much more aggressively. This is why I deadlift a lot better in the gym, because I don't care. Like I can make a little bit of noise. At home, I do this like soft kneeling thing where I kind of slowly pick it up and slowly put it down because I don't want to make a racket. I don't want to do it, man. My neighbor's window is like a meter on the other side of the freaking garage. That's his bedroom. I'm going to drop 180 kilos off freaking top of my front rack. Imagine that. Not that I can do 180, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. Even if you have a platform and crash mats, it's noise. I have to stay in my lane, although I would love to dunk the ball. So I'm only going to introduce things which are going to directly feed into something. So maybe bands. Maybe bands is what I need to do. So I can have that rate or force development kind of intertwined somehow in my squatting. I didn't enjoy power cleaning today. Simply that. I didn't enjoy it because I wanted to dump it every time. So I did like 3 or 4 sets at 80 kilos. And then I went to 100 kilos, and that rep that you saw me drop, that was it. I just felt off, man. This is just, I don't know. You don't go to a commercial gym and do Olympic weightlifting, man. There's people like walking around right next to you. It's like they don't understand what you're going to do. Like that lady that walked past me, if I dropped it as she was walking past, she'd get scared. Because it's an unusual thing to do in this environment. Somebody dropping 100 kilos from shoulder height. She'd be terrified because no one else is doing it. All of a sudden I'm doing it. Anyway. Some more of my thoughts. Thanks to everyone on the list. Much appreciate all of you guys. I've said every single video. Just a freaking blessing. Really is. Just a blessing that you guys have done this. And every single day, I wake up and I open up the Patreon app and I look to see whether you guys commented or you've sent. That's kind of my first go-to, because I just want to be there and respond as quick as I can. And then all the other apps that I'm involved in happen later, but the Patreon is always number one. Anyway, guys, that's what's on my mind today. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.